a second-hand coat. I want a yacht, not a cheap little boat. I tell my daddy not to be depressed. All I need for happiness is the best. I want a diamond, nothing else has appeal. And when it comes to men, you know how I feel. I want a real man. Give me a real man, you know what I mean. I want a real man. Oh, real man, you're what I need.
Hey, look who's here. You guys have shown up. Nice to see you. I came out of the John again. What is this?
Here's how many go shot to the head.
Oh, bastard. Hey, welcome to Real Men. I'm Tim Steeves, and this is the show where men get real. We've got a great panel, so let's find out who dropped in today. Tim Reichert is here. Hey, Tim, good to see you, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Doing something new with your coif there. I like it. Also, Chuck Byrn joined us. Hi, Chuck. Good to see you. Laurie Elliott, the effervescent, talented Laurie Elliott is here. And Kadar dropped in, too. Good to see you, Kadar.
Hey, 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 hey.
And actually, we're going to get this segment on patriotism kicked off with a comment from Kadar. Oh, Kadar.
Hey. Tell you what, they're quiet, they're polite, and they're not prone to outbursts of emotions. No, I'm not talking about a fan at an Argo game. I'm talking about Canadians. You! Is it justifiable that Canadians should be flag wavers? We're reserved, we're quiet, we don't say too much to nobody. Hey, your dog poop on our lawn? It's okay, I'll clean it up, don't worry about it. Because I'm Canadian. Have a coffee, decaf, no problem. Hey, did you know that 45% of Canadians couldn't even do their own citizenship test? 45 got it wrong. And here's the kicker, only 63% knew the first two lines to the national anthem. Well, I, for one, stand outside of those statistics because I know it, Tim, I know it. Oh, Canada, oh, say, can you see? God keep a land. Did I hit it? That deserves a fist pump. Tim, back to you, bro.
Yeah, Kadar. I see where you're going with it. I see you working. But come on, Chuck, surely we've been involved in stuff. What Canadians, come on now.
I think words are one thing, but I think actions speak much louder than words. If you look at World War I, World War II, Korea, I mean, on D-Day per capita, Canada had more troops there than any other country in the world. Well, you know, any other country of the Allies. Yeah. And we fight the good fight, often and regularly. We defend the little guy.
We're proud of the things that we've done. Like, you ask Canadians about Normandy. Ask Canadians about Normandy, and they go, oh, yeah, I know Normandy. That was D-Day, blah, blah, blah. Ask them about Vimy Ridge, and they go, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but you talk about D-Day. I mean, Canadians now, we're so confused between American history and Canadian history. Most of we know about American history. You mentioned D-Day, and they think it's free donut day at Tim Hortons.
That's laziness.
They have no idea.
That's laziness, because the information's out there. But it's much easier for us to watch.
That's what we're talking about.
I see what Kadar's talking about. He's saying Saving Private Ryan, movies like that. No Allied forces are ever represented in those realistic films.
That's Hollywood. What can we do about Hollywood, though?
Exactly.
You know? I mean,
well, you know, an American tells you a story, you expect to get the American opinion.
Right now, there's Canada, A People's History on TV, and I bet there's not that many people watching it. You know, I bet it's just not. We'd rather watch World War. We'd rather watch Saving Private Ryan. We'd rather watch Hollywood's version.
Well, I hope they'd rather watch us sit down and talk, you see, and get paid minimum wage. But that's besides the point. No, let me bring it home for you right now.
You're getting minimum wage?
Yes.
I'm not getting minimum wage.
Oh, no.
We talk about another show. But let me bring it home for you. Here you have World Cup. Not just the United States, but all the world seems more patriotic than Canadians. You ever seen the Italians carry on, even when they lose during the World Cup? The Portuguese, the Brazilians?
Well, they have
Why
to.
don't we wave
Italy
flags,
has to cheer their soccer team. It's not like they can cheer their army.
We need a
They get
cheer.
into a war.
That's what we don't
fight
have.
a war when you're running away from it.
There's no Canadian cheer at the big national sporting events. We don't have, and I think we need a Canada. Canada. Canada.
Yeah, see, there's Canadians getting excited for you. About 3 Canadas, and they start to fade.
And then one of them has to throw in a Canada.
Really loud.
And then someone starts to clap off beat.
But there's two kinds of
Okay, one at a time.
We're not educating the kids. Like, I know I was not educated in Canadian history anywhere near the way that I should have been.
But did you have the option to take Canadian history?
Yeah, and I took it.
Yeah?
Yes.
No.
But it was one course.
We all
option.
took it. And
Yeah.
never mind what's the option. When you're taught history at first in class, you need to be taught the important stuff. I remember history. They taught me Canadian history. They teach me about the FLQ and all that. Go back further. Teach me the beginnings of it. Don't start with the political history of the recent 10 years. I don't need that. That's going to bore the hell out of me.
I think we're getting at the root of where patriotism comes from. It comes from the schoolroom. Really.
Education, knowledge,
It comes from the
absolutely.
education, because the Americans have done a very good job of teaching, some may refer to it as propaganda,
Yes.
but patriotism.
What
they
to be proud of,
teach it.
yeah.
They tell people from the minute you're born in America, you're number one. You live in the best country in the world. And they don't doubt it.
But you know what? We need to teach it differently than the U.S. because
Exactly.
that's a different thing. Best country in the world is not Canada.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
proud
Timmy-
of your country, proud of its ideals,
Yeah.
and there's out-and-out tribalism where we're the best and everyone else sucks.
Yeah.
And that's a different.
Timmy,
But
in
I
our
think
generation,
it also leads to insularism, because if you ask Americans about the world around them,
Exactly.
they know very
They
little.
know.
our generation's biggest moment in Canada is a hockey game in 1972. That's sort of the
Yeah.
sad
Yes,
That's
thing,
our-
isn't it?
sad.
that is
We rally
absolutely-
around
That's
sport
very sad.
and not personal accomplishment as far as our brave war heroes.
And our
We're very
country
proud of the
goes,
fact
we're-
that our beer is stronger than the U.S. We
Yeah,
are very
yeah.
proud of
Yeah,
that.
but I think we also suffer
Sad
from
when the stubby went away.
from little brother syndrome with the U.S.
For
I
sure.
mean, we've got the U.S. next to us that it's so hard to avoid everything that's going on down there. You just can't
We
avoid
also
it.
benefit big time from little brothers.
Oh yeah.
They don't even think about us half the time. We got them on our
exactly.
minds,
You blow up a building in our,
We've
in,
got
in
them
our
on our
town,
side,
and our
too.
big
Don't
brother's
forget
going to be.
that.
Wasn't it Trudeau that said the mouse and the elephant thing? And the mouse is always going to notice the elephant, but the elephant doesn't really
Trudeau,
notice the mouse very often.
Well, people after the September 11th disaster, Canadians got really up and angry that Canada wasn't mentioned, but Britain was in George Bush's speech. But what they don't realize is that the only reason Britain was even mentioned was because the Prime Minister of Britain was in the room. If he hadn't been in the room, he wouldn't have been mentioned either.
But my point is, I didn't want us to be mentioned. It's like, shut up.
No,
That's all the time we've got.
Canada's involved? Shut is involved.
We're out of time for this segment. Riker just says, don't leave us out. We just fly under the radar. You're obviously patriotic. You're watching Canadian television. We're coming back.
I think so. Yeah. Only you know how much you love Canada. Expression is not important.
Hey, welcome back. This segment, we're going to talk about political correctness. Has it gone too far? Are we inviting a big backlash? Let's hear from Laurie Elliott on this. Laurie?
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons and daughters command. Hey, that's politically correct. Did you know that? What do you feel about political correctness? Has it gone too far? I mean, I in particular think it's a good thing. I think it's right that the police officers are called police officers, not policemen, right? And a fireman, no, he's a firefighter. But when does it go too far? I think it goes too far when people start naming women W-O-M-Y-N. That's just unnecessary, I think. But I do think also that when people talk about, it should be her story instead of his story, it really pisses me off, You know what? If it's not that way, that's not the right way. History is a Latin word, and the his has nothing to do with gender. If it was that way, it would be sostoria or something like that, just so you know. I think political correctness is something that freaks me out once in a while. I've hopped around with my boot in my mouth many a times since it's arrived, but I think it's a good thing. It's an evolution of the language, and we need that. What do you think, Tim?
Well, I think that was an excellent commentary by you, Laurie Elliott. That's for sure.
Taking out the
I'm going to
trash.
say all the right things this episode. Starting with throwing it to Chuck Byrn. Chuck, have we gone too far with this stuff? Is there a difference between just being rude and political correctness?
Yes and no. I think we did go too far, but I think the pendulum's starting to come back now. I think we got to a point where people were not saying things because they were scared of what people might think. And they were really carefully crafting what they said, and as a result, they didn't end up saying very much.
Exactly.
And I think that we're getting to the point now where common sense is starting to come back into it a little bit.
It's not so much common sense, it's intelligence. To me, political correctness is for stupid people. Intelligent people, enlightened people know they're not racist. They understand the complexities of racism, and they're not afraid of accidentally saying something racist. Whereas political correctness, this set of terms that you're not allowed to say on a very black and white issue, that works for stupid people because then they go, I know I should never say the word Jew. Even though the word Jew is not offensive, but they know, I've heard people say it in an offensive way, so I should never, and anytime I hear anyone else say the word Jew, I'm gonna go, hey, hey.
Yeah.
And the people that fight it freak me out, like insane right-wing fundamentalists talking about how it's a feminazi issue and that women are responsible for all this PC stuff.
Feminazi, I love that.
Yeah, that's not it, though. That's not it. Political correctness affects people with disabilities. You don't get called a retard anymore. I'm happy for that.
You know what?
I think that's great.
That word's making a big comeback.
Yeah, but not for the right. It is. Yeah, just like
making a
gay,
huge
but not gay.
When
right?
I first started doing stand-up 7 years ago, you could not say retard without getting a groan or silence from
So
an
why
audience.
is it coming back then? Why?
Because
does it have
people
to...
are sick of it.
Because people understand now
what?
that we have a grasp on it. Now we know, because offending is all about, is there hatred behind what you're saying?
It's your
as
intent.
opposed to, is it just a word that I'm saying, right? So people can now use those words and know, I'm not being evil to that person, I'm doing, in a certain way.
Okay, so what if somebody what's the proper use of the term retard?
It's a clinical term. Retardation is a clinical term.
Retardation is slowing things down.
And the reason why people stopped using it is because it was a clinical term used in a mean way. Like the word
is
moron.
Is it clinical though, or doesn't it mean to slow slow something down?
You retard development.
I want to hear from Kedar on this topic. What's up, man?
Well, I mean, political correctness has it gone too far? In my opinion, yes and no. Yes, it's needed for those that express or demonstrate racist or discriminatory attitudes towards those in a minority or a disadvantage. Has it gone too far?
Do you think it invites a backlash, Kedar? You think it invites a backlash, the over whitewashing of language and stuff?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I like that one because it's more like woman. So there you go. That's what you're going to get if you start doing stuff like that.
Make me say
all right, woman.
Oh God, I don't know. I think it's ridiculous when people. It is the evolution of language. It's the evolution of how if we've changed, just the African American population in North America has come so far along. You were completely screwed over, But
you see,
and it's about time that language catches up with that.
When you're speaking specifically towards black people, I like the word black. I mean, James Brown said, shout it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Well, the song wouldn't be as good as shout it loud, I'm African American and proud. Things have to progress, things have to change. The whole idea of that changing is you have Caucasians, you have Asian. It gives them an area, a region where they're from, and black is just black. Well, where's black?
Would you ever describe yourself as an African Canadian, Kedar?
No, because it sounds stupid to me. I mean, or an African Jamaican or an African Canadian Jamaican American. Yeah. I mean, that's just too many words there.
Are you just a black guy in Canada?
I'm a black guy trying to make it up in Canada. Trying to do better. Right.
That's the trouble with political correctness in when you break it down into words like that. They try to. It's not about the words. It's about what you're saying.
It's what's behind the words.
Well said, Lore. Nice job, Laurie. Yes, well said indeed. We're coming back after this. We're going to talk about the male biological clock. Does it exist? Also, we went out in the street and asked Joe Q Public what it takes to be a real man.
There's too much emphasis on the body now. It should be just as much as the mind, and that could mean being, as corny as it sounds, in touch with yourself, but I just don't mean it that way. I mean being in touch with. Concerned with your body means that you're just interested in the outside, but I think also interested in what's going on outside, not just with yourself, but other people around you. Not just as a way to grab chicks, but as a way to actually make a connection with other people.
Hey, welcome back to the show. The male biological clock. Does it exist? Is there such a thing, Tim Reichert?
No. I don't know. The male biological clock is basically every guy knows that eventually, if he has a son, eventually his son will kick his ass, or will be able to kick his ass. And I think the biological clock comes into play where it's like, I just don't want him to be 12 when he can, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
You want to be able to take your own kid until
I don't want to be a
15,
7-year-old
16.
weakling when my kid's 12 and I'm telling him to clean up his
you don't want
room
your
and
8-year-old kicking
he
your
knocks
ass.
me over and breaks my hip. Clean your room. Ow, my hip.
I love that. I love the idea of men when they find new statistics about themselves, like this whole like your sperm get defective and have difficulties when you're over 45 and stuff. They're like, oh my God, I have a biological clock now too. I do.
I'm not all broken up about it. I mean, yeah, 45 years. I'm sure I won't be running as quick as I used to.
Yeah, but you
gonna
go
have
to the male
kids, Chuck?
menopause and
I'd like
stuff.
to.
And would you
Leave
like
some
to
for the ladies.
Be able to pick them up.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, do you feel like, wait, you're 35 now, right?
30.
30. Sorry, dude.
Wow.
I'm going to look 35 till
Kadar, you're
35.
Great for 30.
Kadar, you're 40. What about you?
I'm at least 42. No, going back to damaging your jewels, I mean, I think we would even blame stuff like former injuries, football, on damage. It's not the whole thing about getting older or having a time period. Something happened in our past that caused us to now behave the way we do. And, you know,
we age. There's no getting around the fact that you're going to age. But biological clock, I think, refers much more to women than to men.
Yeah.
I think, especially since we got Viagra now, there's really nothing stopping us.
But I thought biological clock had something to do with like men's moods changing because they want menopause too, and
Isn't there
as they get
They
older.
want menopause? Yeah. Sign me up for some menopause.
We're damn jealous.
The excuse then.
We're
that they
extremely
see
jealous
women
of
have
and I want it
menopause,
now.
think, for sure.
Male menopause is a term they gave because a bunch of guys got divorced when they turned 40 and bought Porsches. Well, he's going through male menopause.
I thought
No,
that
he
was-
isn't.
This is
He
a male-
woke up and decided, you know what? I got a big pile of money. I'm going to spend it on me.
exactly. He couldn't afford it when he was 20, and now finally he can afford
This
to.
is a
Lori-
male hot flash.
Lori, is there any
I am hot for you. I'm having a flash of hotness.
Lori, is there any comparison between the male and female experiences on this topic?
Oh, I think not. I don't think there's any comparison
No.
because women, you know, when their biological clock starts ticking, and mine hasn't, just so you know, I don't know if it ever will.
All right,
It
denial.
hasn't. But
digital.
women have said to me, like, they just all of a sudden are like, baby, 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 must have baby, and they're just like, you make me baby. But like,
The simple reality of it
Notice
is,
she twisted
is
it,
women
Tim?
dry up, turn into dust, and blow away in the wind, and men turn into Sean Connery.
oh, that is.
Hey, I mean, you don't want.
There's
you want
nothing
you want
appealing to me about Sean Connery, by the
Well,
way.
why
I
is
don't
he- why
want
do
Mr.
people-
Saggy Wang.
Well, women keep
coming-
talking about how sexy
How
he is. It's not
sexy,
men that are
suave,
making him a sex
debonair.
symbol.
Exactly.
Actually,
just-
Saggy Wang is his website, saggywang.com.
Yeah,
That's
I
your-
believe that.
I thought it was
believe
Jackie
that.
Chan's new movie coming out. Saggy Wang.
Lori,
Okay,
why do so many women find like the Sean Connerys of the world sexy? Obviously they do. I mean,
I don't know. I don't
Gerard
know that.
Depardieu and these kind of
I mean,
guys.
people aren't lining up to bang Joan Rivers.
I think that no, that's what I don't understand. I've been
Over the
attracted
head,
to
but-
older men before, but nobody with the difference between my age and Sean Connery's age. I'm just like I don't get that. Like Nicole, what was her name? The
Anna
woman,
Nicole Smith.
Anna
Nicole
Nicole
Smith,
Smith, who married that 90-year-old man.
Well,
like,
she
for
married-
10
That was,
years.
she
married a
Yeah.
90-year-old pile
Yeah,
of
but I
money.
think
She
she
didn't marry a
slept with him.
90-year-old
I have a
man.
feeling
Big,
she probably-
dirty, sweaty pile of
Something
money.
happened.
Lori, you think she earned that money, huh? She
Oh,
earned that
she
money
did.
the hard way.
Oh my God!
A
yeah.
kiss a
The
day.
old-fashioned way.
A kiss a
She
day, wipe
earned
his
it.
bum, put him to bed.
Men do seem to age better than women. Like women's skin it's not as
Childbirth takes a lot out of you.
Women's skin gets wrinkly, men's skin gets leathery.
exactly. And I think that's so unfair, but I don't know what that has to do with the men's
but
biological
I don't think it's
clock or
necessarily
anything.
perpetuated by men. It's just as
Absolutely.
much
No,
perpetuated
I'm
by
not
women.
saying
It's
that.
the
I'm
women
not
of the
saying
world
at
that are
all.
making sex symbols out of the Mick Jaggers.
No,
and
you know what?
the-
What we're
you know.
doing, we're making you guys feel good about yourselves, and we're trying to find out if you can get the hint.
No, what you're doing is women are placing the same type of insecurities that they have on men, saying that we have menopause too. I'll give you some, Tim. That we have
I don't
Don't leave
menopause
my
too,
boy
and
hanging.
we don't. We grow, we age, we mature gracefully.
Gracefully.
And
Well,
we
you know,
can
some
still
do, some don't.
do it.
I mean, there's some
Exactly, yeah.
women. I mean, Sophia Loren
Oh, yeah.
is a very bangable old lady.
Yes.
She's a bangable
But
old
Goldie
lady.
Hawn.
Goldie Hawn. Well, Goldie's getting a little.
But you know what? Women,
Too much time in the
women
sun.
fight aging more than men. Men take it
Desperately.
naturally and live with it and work their way around.
We
on
tend
it.
not to. We
because
don't
the
buy as many products.
Yeah,
and
we're not
stuff.
with the
we're
spray and the
starting to
makeup
go.
and the
Yeah,
thing.
We're
that's
starting
because
to.
we don't have-
We're out
Just
of
for
time.
men hair
We're out of time. Out of time. We're going to come back. We've been talking about Canadians patriotic enough, political correctness, male biological clock, and we'll wrap it up. A couple more minutes. Don't go away. We've been asking all the important questions today on Real Men. Are we patriotic enough in Canada? The political correctness out of control? And also male biological clock. We've been talking about that. That subject had a lot of legs. Laurie, you have final thoughts? We got a couple more minutes here.
Yes, with respect to the male biological clock, I think it's a crock, but if it isn't, it really makes me angry that whole concept's there, because men end up, once their clock starts ticking, leaving their wives of 20 years to go out with a younger woman who hasn't had their breasts sagging yet and hasn't developed the wrinkles, and then they just go with that. Whereas,
Bob
like,
Dole didn't do that. Some men is what you're saying. Most men. A lot of men.
A lot of men do. A lot more men do than women.
Well, you know what? Here's what I'm with Chuck on that. It was women who made old men good looking. Women decided old men were distinguished and good looking, and I think they should, rather than, I know you were saying.
No, I think old men's money made them distinguished and good looking.
No. Women aren't after Sean Connery's money. They think he's sexy, okay?
Okay.
And
fine. Sean Connery's sexy.
And you said to me that the women did that because they're just trying to show men how to make older people feel nice, and men should do that about, and I'm like, no, women should also agree that old men are ugly, so we can all agree all old people are ugly.
Put them on the ice floe, see you later.
We're backtracking to the political correctness panel all of a sudden.
The only truth
that.
to any male biological clock is that once every couple of months, the sperm builds up, and that's about it. It has to go somewhere. That's the biological clock for men, nothing else.
Every couple of months?
Every couple of
Well,
months.
after
build up.
accusing
If you haven't released, it builds up.
After accusing everyone else of being 35, I just remembered, hey, I'm 35.
You're projecting.
And my wife's 35, and we're thinking about having kids. So we're right down to now.
We or her?
We.
Whose idea was it?
Can a guy not have an idea to have a kid?
I think that's a great idea.
No, but we're both thinking of kids, and it's 35 years old. We're at that level now where it's like, okay, we better do it in the next couple of years, both of us.
Yeah.
Time's a waste.
Because I don't want my kid kicking my ass.
And that's
anymore.
about all the time we have
Yeah.
for today on Real Men. Tune in next time where you'll see Men Get Real.
Just don't
Thanks a
never teach them
lot
how
for
to walk.
coming out.
It'll be very hard for
Nice job, everybody.
That'd be hilarious.
13-year-old crawling around your
14 doesn't know how to
apartment.
walk.
Get him smoking early.